G'day pals, and welcome to Season 2 of The Wandering Village. As you can see, there's been a pretty big update to the game, which has changed quite a lot. And not only that, but Onbu's changed quite a lot as well. This is actually just a second skin you can use for Onbu, but it looks so cool. Look at him sleeping so peacefully. But for anyone who hasn't seen this game before, basically we start off as a little tribe on the back of this giant creature called Onbu, which actually means piggyback in Japanese. It's kind of cool. With the new update, you can see things have changed quite a bit. There are so many more trees on Onbu's back, and there's a few extra resources as well. So now we have clay as a resource, which is pretty interesting, and quite a few changes with things like our tech tree and our progression as well, but we'll go through those as we're playing. We're also going to test ourselves a little bit more by playing on survival mode with a few hostility modifiers just to make things a bit more challenging. One is going to be morning appetite, so Onbu is 10% more hungry after he wakes up, but that doesn't kick in until day 25. And the other one is thick fog, so I think our world map view should be much smaller. Yeah, decreased by 25%. That may or may not be really frustrating. I guess we'll find out. But here's our little group of survivors, all dressed up in their capes, ready for some jobs. So the resource collection's set out a bit differently now as well. We've got these little camps that can help us collect resources initially. So what we're gonna need is a woodcutter camp. It's kind of the way we chop trees now. We might just build 2 of those just to clear out a big area over here that we can use for buildings. There's also a mining camp. This is how we collect all of the stones now. Not only just these small stones, but also these medium-sized ones that we have as well. Oh, look at them getting to work already. We've got Land Avatar over here mining some rocks for us. We'll just set some villagers in both of our woodcutting camps as well. And the last thing we need is a clay gatherer, because this is going to be really important for us to get. Finding a spot for it's going to be challenging. Maybe here might be okay for now. I did not realize this, but Onbu actually glows in the dark at nighttime. See these like little yellow bits on his chest and under his chin? That's so cool, Onbu. It'd be pretty awesome if his horns glowed though, actually. That should be a feature they can add. Oh, and I nearly forgot. We're definitely going to need some food straight away. So we'll place a couple of berry gatherers in here. We're also going to try and make our setup a bit more efficient than the first season. I mean, if that's possible for me, but I'll try my best, okay? Now, one of the other big things that's changed is how we get settlers on the back of Onbu. We used to always have to just find them on the map, so there was a bit of luck to it. But now we can actually get more settlers if we just keep our villagers to a certain level of happiness. We're at 4, but we need 5. And that's probably mostly because we have 10 homeless people right now. So I think we need to build some tents. So let's start to put in a little row of these down below, just below our little berry gatherers. These tents can house up to 2 villagers each, so 5 should be enough, but we'll build 1 extra. Oh, our little guys are collecting clay as well. We've got Jelaine and Abdel. Looks like they're just shoveling clay out of these giant clay deposits. And for some reason, they're just leaving them on the ground. Come on, guys. I guess one of the extra challenges now as well is that there are just so many trees. We actually need to clear all of the lands before we can build too much on Onbu's back. But Onbu doesn't seem to be fussed at all, having the best snooze of his life. All right, we've got Briggs over here starting to collect some berries for us. But as you can see, our berry area is pretty lackluster at the moment. But with the new update, there's a really cool way that we can improve this function. But first, I think Onbu's waking up. Yes, he is. Okay, actually, that's pretty good timing, Onbu. It's basically like an earthquake on his back while he's getting up, rocking all of our settlement around. But there we go, off into the world. There's really not too much on our mini-map right now, but I guess we'll see what's at the end of this road as Onbu slowly starts to work his way down there. Okay, before we get back to the berry gatherer, we're also going to have to throw in one of these research buildings. This is a super important building we need to unlock more technology. Without it, we're probably going to be deceased very quickly, especially with these extra modifiers. Okay, now back to the berries. So you can see there's a couple of small bushes there that are growing now, but the really cool thing we can do at the moment is with any other fully formed berry bushes on Onbu's back, if we select these, there's a new option called harvest and remove. So we're going to do these, and I'm just going to set them to high priority for now. Then we get Nolly and Cory over here just to treat them as punching bags, and Ermini is also joined in. I mean, that's one way to get your anger out, I guess. Once they're done beating up these berry bushes, not only will we get a little bit of berries, like this pile of berries that just formed here. But we also get some berry seeds. Look, there's 2 of them here. But this is the best part. Briggs can then plant these berries close to his berry gatherer. So we can actually just make heaps of berry bushes really close in and increase the efficiency of these buildings. And there we go. We're left with a tiny little berry bush. Now, it is going to take a little while to grow, but the payoff's going to be great. Oh, and our research building's completed as well. We actually need 3 villagers, like a full house in this building for it to work. So that means only 1 person that's going to help to build buildings and carry resources, unfortunately. But at the moment, the research is more important, especially because it's the only way we're going to start to get water. So an air well we need for sure. Oh, and by the way, you can probably see this tech tree is quite different than it was before. Rather than 4 or 5 tabs, it's actually just one giant linear tech tree now, which is also kind of cool. And getting upgrades also costs resources too. So for us to build this air well, we need 25 wood just to start the process of researching. So all of our researchers are just standing here waiting for the 25 wood to be delivered. So they haven't even started the research process yet. The good news though is that our happiness is now 8. So we're slowly progressing towards getting some extra villages. You see this little circle here that's ticking up? Oh, and it's probably a good idea to connect all of these little huts with dirt roads as well, just because our villagers move slightly faster on these dirt roads. It's going to take a while to build them though, especially since we still only have this 1 free worker. Oh, Sydney, love your stuff. That's 1 extra block of road we have there. That's going to help so much, I'm sure. I know these huts are like super basic and all, but man, these cushions look so comfortable. It's like the best kind of tent I've ever seen. It's more like glamping than anything. An abandoned encampment. Oh yeah, this is where we find tools that can help us get certain upgrades as well. This is a new thing for the update too. Yeah, it looks like we need tools for upgrades of buildings. Like this one needs 3 tools down the bottom as the build cost. And I'm sure we'll need them more as we get further down through the chain. Oh man, so good to be back with Onbu. I can't stop looking at his little glowy belly. Every time it's nighttime, I'm just gonna sit here and watch him for a while. But actually, I shouldn't do that. We've got some work to do. Oh, and thank goodness, 2 nomads want to join our settlement. So these are nomads we basically got for free for just keeping our villagers happy. Yes, welcome aboard, you guys. Now we have 3 free workers, which is gonna help us progress so much quicker. And it's probably a good idea for us now to build a material storage down here, just so we can centralize some of these resources that are just sitting on the ground up here, like the clay. But our research is done now, so we have air wells finally. These cost 15 wood and 20 stone to build. But considering we have 0 water, I think these are absolutely the priority at the moment. I'm going to put in 2 of these guys, and I'm going to set them to super urgent priority. We're really slacking on the wood though. I might have to add some extra people to both of our wood cutting camps just for the time being. And for our next research, we're definitely going to need a farm. This is the first thing that actually needs clay to build, so luckily we're farming that pretty aggressively right now. Still super low on villagers. I would love so many more. It looks like we've got to wait 2 days and 14 hours until another 2 arrive. But our happiness is still looking really good. No one's homeless at the moment. That's always a perk, I guess. We've just passed over the abandoned encampment as well and got 3 tools, which is just enough to do a research in our tech tree, actually. But before we do any of that, we have finished our farms, so that's going to be the priority. Food also, very important, turns out. There's one thing I learned from season 1. It's that you really don't need this full area for your farms because they never fill it up. I mean, they just try their best to get out of work at all times. Like these researchers, you need some initiative. I've got to keep picking the tech tree. They should just research on their own. Do you know what? I think we're going to go with a flop house here. I have never built one of these things before, but these are like super dodgy apartments that can house up to 30 villagers. That just sounds so fun. It needs a whole bunch of clay and stone, but we're doing it. And see, it just takes so much longer to chop down trees now since the update. There's about 10 wood in each, but they collect them all one at a time. That's why having all these extra trees just is really time consuming to clear out at the start. The flop house is completed. Oh man, it takes 50 stone and 100 clay to build. Okay, let's plonk it here for the moment, but I'm not going to put resources in it just yet until we build these air wells, which are getting a bit closer. Looks like we're coming to our first crossroads as well. These things can be really important. So it looks like we can go down into a different biome down here, which is the mountains biome, or going in this direction is more of the same. I don't know. Right now we have no way of telling Onbu which way to go, so it's all up to him. While he's making that very challenging decision, we're going to pick our new research, which actually should be a hornblower. That way we can tell Onbu what to do by the next crossroads that we get to. All right, Onbu, which way is it going to be? Are we going to the mountains biome or not? Okay, mountains biome it is, I guess. This better be a smart choice, Onbu. But, I mean, it still looks pretty bare to me. Not that I can see very much with all of this extra fog we have. We do at least have our first air well, though, so we're starting to make water, finally. No one died of dehydration while we're building that, so that's pretty nice, I guess. So the next important thing we're going to need is a water tank, which is a way that we can store the water we're getting from the air wells. And we've just got 2 extra nomads to help out as well, which is perfect timing. All right, now it's time for our hornblower. You can see that we can't really build it anywhere on Onbu's back except for right up near his head, which I guess kind of makes sense. So maybe somewhere like here, which we can connect up with a road as well. There you go, Onbu. Now I don't have to shout at you anymore. We can just blow our horn instead. He's not listening. He's too distracted by this new mountains biome we're going into. Or maybe he's distracted because he's actually 81% sleepy, which means he's about to fall asleep at any time. And 44% hunger as well. Man, we really need to feed him. Oh, there is an Onbu feeding spot up here. That's going to be perfect. No sleeping spot though, unfortunately. That's a bit rough. Okay. Onbu had enough. He's falling asleep. It looks like 86% sleepiness was enough for him. Unfortunately, he's sleeping just right in the middle of the road, which means it's going to take extra long. But we've got the classic little paw stretch. And oh my god, that yawn. It's horrendous. But he's always so cute when he goes to sleep. He always looks so happy. I don't know what it is. Unfortunately, it's kind of raining as well. And that's because we're trapped under this giant rain cloud, which is enormous. But it is very good because it raises humidity in our little settlement, which means that our air wells produce water at 150% of the normal rate. So I can't really complain. And it doesn't look like Onbu seems to mind either. Oh, this is getting a bit hairy. We are really low on food. We've actually got barely enough to last another day, which is very scary. We've got the last 2 stone, though, before this farm can be built. Come on, just one more. Who's bringing it? Oh, we've got Mario here to save the day. And he's even building it as well. Normally, they just drop off the resources and then walk away. And then someone else has to walk all the way over Onbu's back to build it. But Mario really knows what he's doing. What a team player. Yes, okay. We have our first farm. So let's set a little area for us to farm in. Probably about this area is going to be enough, I think. The only thing we can plant right now is beets. Luckily for us in a mountain biome, it's the perfect temperature to grow these. So it's going to grow at 100%, which is perfect. But of course, now we're going to have to start using our water to help grow these crops. But it looks like Sydney's not wasting any time. She's out there planting them straight away. Oh no, but we've got a couple of homeless people and a few of our villagers are hungry too, so we're not actually attracting new nomads at the moment. Oh, I also just realized that we need tools to build these mining camps. Luckily, we've got 6, so we do have enough, but I've got to keep that in mind too. Research and these resource camps. All right, well, that seemed to work. We managed to get all the stone to our flophouse pretty quickly, and we have Jody Willoughby building it for us. Oh man, he's super hungry and homeless. Oh, but he's working so hard. Man, I feel like I should build him a mansion. Whoa, okay, our flop house is ready. That's actually so much bigger than I was expecting. Look at this place. It's so much bigger than the tents over here. Unfortunately, it is super dodgy and the people living in it are more susceptible to poison due to the cramped conditions. But it does mean I won't need to build any more houses for a while. It also looks kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. Excuse me? What are you? A puddle can be harvested for water. It'll slowly dry out and turn into a clay deposit. I've never seen one of these before. And there's 30 water in that bad boy. You know what? I think let's leave it actually so it can turn into a clay deposit. That's pretty cool. Looks like that might be the only one though. I can't see any others on Onbu's back. Oh, and Jody's at it again. He's just finishing off the hornblower. Oh man, that's so good. Okay, let's get someone in there straight away. That means now if we ever come up to a crossroads again, we can tell Onbu what to do. We're gonna have to build a bit of trust with him first though. He's not gonna want to listen to us at first, but he'll love us eventually. Oh, Onbu's just woken up from his sleep. What a struggle to get up. Alrighty, our water tanks have finished researching now as well. So we might build one here right next to the giant flop house. We also got 2 extra nomads that'll join our settlement, which is perfect. They can go and live in this beautiful flop house. And we can pick our next technology. Now there's something we need to think about here. If we go and have a look back at our map, You can see there's these things scattered all around. Like this is a mine and a settlement over here. There's a forest down here as well. If we explore these things, we can get extra resources, but we can only explore them if we have a scavenger hut. And if we have a look at our research tree, to get a scavenger hut, it is all the way over here. It's really far away. And it looks like no matter what path we take, we have to build at least 2 more things. I think we're going to go this direction though. We're going to start with a carpenter. Then the next one we can get is an Onbu-ologist. And after that, we should be able to get a scavenger hut. So that's where we're going to try and race to. But this is pretty not good. We've just got our berry growers standing around doing nothing. Come on, Briggs. What do I pay you for? Actually, I don't pay you at all. Oh, he's just got a berry grown on his bush, so he's going to collect it. But I think that means we're going to have to go and hunt for some other berry bushes, like these ones down here. And we might just uproot all of these guys, just so we can get Briggs more seeds to grow. Okay, our carpenter has finished researching. Let's get our Onbu-ologist pretty quickly. This is what we need 10 mushrooms for, just to be able to research it. So I'm actually going to set these to a much higher priority so we get them quickly. There we go. We've got Damien using them as a punching bag, but of course he's just left a bundle of mushrooms on the ground. Come on, Damien. All you need to do is grab it and take it where we need it. You know what? Why don't these researchers go and collect all of the resources they need? Talk about lazy. Instead, they're just going to stand here and wait. Corey, Erminia, and Nolly. Bunch of disappointments. Well, this couldn't be better timing. Onbu's at 62% hunger, and we've just arrived at his favorite meal, which is mushrooms. Oh, man. Are you guys ready for this? Just so disgusting. I think it's the combo of the sounds and the visuals. Oh, Onbu. But he's cleaned up the whole patch, which is pretty awesome, because now our hunger's only at 28%. 0 would be nicer, but that's improved a lot. But our next thing on the map's going to be this crossroads. So we'll wait to see what reveals itself as we get closer, but we're going to have to make a decision here as well. Oh, Onbu's evacuated his bowels. Normally that would be pretty disgusting, but actually that can be really useful if we can harness it. I just feel like it's a missed opportunity at the moment, to be honest. Oh, one thing I didn't realize is our research actually needs wooden planks. But luckily, we did research a carpenter, which is exactly what we need to get this thing going. So we'll plonk him in here. We just need to clear some trees first. And while we're waiting for that, we can make a choice of which way we want Onbu to go. So this way, we can get a couple of tools. But if we go this way, there's a group of nomads which we can recruit. It has to be this direction. Come on, Onbu. Please listen to us. Go southeast. Oh no, he didn't trust us. And we can't pick again until 13 hours time. Come on, Onbu. Please make the right decision. No! He chose the opposite direction. Those nomads would have helped so much. Now, we're looking not too bad for food. We've got plenty more than we need in a day, so it's going in the right direction. We're doing really good on water. And we're kind of stocking up on our resources as well, so we're looking good. All right, while we're waiting for this carpenter to be built, I've just decided to pivot our research. We're going to go with a mycologist, which is basically a really important farm that can grow mushrooms for Onbu, which, given that we've got this difficulty modifier that makes Onbu hungrier, I think that's going to be super important. Oh, we've just entered a new biome as well. It looks like we're going back into the jungle, and an Onbu feeding spot is ahead. That's really good. Onbu's already 45% hungry again. Okay, that research was done super quick, and we can't really see it because it's hidden behind these trees, but our carpenter is up and working, converting 2 wood into 1 wooden plank. We just need 5 of those before we can start our research for the Onbu-ologist. Oh, and this mining camp's pretty much run out of stones. Now, I didn't show this before, but one of the really good things about these new camps is that if we just click this building over here, which says move building, kind of does what it says on the tin, I guess, you can literally just instantly move it to a more convenient area so you can keep collecting resources. You don't have to deconstruct it or rebuild it. It's super handy. Oh, look at our berry gatherer now. He's planted so many extra seeds around his house, but I think we could do with a couple more, to be honest, so I'm going to set these ones to collect as well. Give me those seeds. Now, the thing with the mycologist is it can't be built on grass. It needs to be built on these dirt areas. But I'm thinking somewhere over here is pretty convenient, actually. Yeah, let's try over here. Damien's just putting the finishing touches on it. Oh, Damien's living in the flop house. Condolences, Damien. One day I'll build a mansion for you. I swear. I mean, if our civilization lives on before the next epidemic, that is surely bound to happen. Okay, a mycologist though, that's definitely one step in the right direction. We set our planting area and we should be ready to go just to start planting mushrooms everywhere. Oh yes, we got all of those wooden planks as well. So our research is already at 53%. That's going really quickly. What we could do is build more of these research buildings to make the research even faster. We just don't have enough villagers for that yet. We're kind of struggling with free workers as it is. Oh no, I thought we could build the scavenger hut after the Onbuologist, but it turns out we need everything behind it. We're actually going to have to build the pantry and then the stonemason after all. That won't take very long. We'll get through it quickly. But luckily, I just get to stare at Onbu while we wait. It's nighttime and he's glowing again. Oh, and we've just arrived at his favorite food, which is very good timing. Okay, apparently instead of eating, he's decided to sleep here. I guess he was 86% sleepy, so he's just saving his snack for in the morning when he wakes up. Oh my god, that yawn, Onbu. Terrifying. All right, there's 2 more nomads. Oh, and apparently our villagers' needs have increased from 0 to 1. Oh, okay, so the more villagers we get, the harder it is to keep everybody happy. Apparently that keeps increasing not only by how many villagers you have, but also by how many days have passed as well. So now that we have these needs of 1, basically that means if we drop below this level, then our villagers are gonna get really annoyed. They can actually desert Onbu and go somewhere else. I don't know why you would do that, to be honest. So we need to keep our villager happiness above that level at all costs, basically. Okay, so our pantry has finished. Let's put one of these guys here. This works pretty similar to the materials storage, but instead of just regular materials, we can store food specifically in here. Hopefully being close to all of these houses is going to help as well. Oh, Onbu's woken up and he's eating his mushrooms while he's lying down. I didn't know that was possible. Like, he's got such a long neck. Really helps with the reach. All right, but we're getting back on the road. Except there is something I've never seen before in front of us. A stinkhorn fungi. Healthy food for Onbu, that's great. But the nauseating smell will linger and dampen the mood of your villagers. Oh, that is so not great. These fungi look kind of crazy though, I'm gonna be honest. They might be hallucinogenic, I'm not sure. Oh, and I do not like the look of that. We've got spore clouds now. These things can really poison us. That's not a good thing at all. What is a good thing though is we just finished our stonemason research, and that was definitely the last thing we needed to get the scavenger hut. Ah, I'm so happy. Now with this thing, we can send scavengers out to collect resources from across the map. We will also need stone slabs that this stonemason can make pretty soon, so I'm gonna start building one of those as well. We'll put that in this forest where you can't see anything, right next to the carpenter. Oh man, I should really start reading the tooltips. We actually need the stone slabs to be able to build the scavenger hut. So in that case, let's set it to high priority. Oh man, our mycologist is really going for it. Casper doing a great job, just growing so many mushrooms. We don't yet have a way to process these into Onbu food, so that's kind of our next step. Our villagers can eat these though, so it is a kind of another source of food. But actually, we're going to need something else before we can use that for our villagers as well. Man, there's always something else. Oh, Onbu's made it. We're at the stinkhorn fungi. I can't believe it though. He's walking straight past, even though he's 34% hungry. And right now with our hornblower, I don't actually have a way to tell him how to eat. He's making his own choices in life. I really wish he would eat though. He's going to be so starving very soon. Okay, but we need to make a choice here. I think this is desert and we are not prepared for that. So I'm going to go southeast. And thankfully, Onbu accepted our command. He listened to us. Finally. Yep, this is the one that would have come in handy, this eat command. I think we're just going to research that while we wait for the stonemason to finish building. That was actually done super quick. For the next research, we're going to need to start diversifying our food a little bit. That desert scared me already, so I think we're going to need to research a cactus plant. This is a way that we can get water if we ever do end up in a desert. Hopefully that won't happen anytime soon though. First, we're going to have to deal with this poison, which might be a bit of a challenge, especially since we haven't got a village doctor yet. Oh man, this might be a bit of a problem. We've just got to plow through this research first before we can do the doctor one. But we are already so far into this spore cloud. I'm going to tell Onbu to run. Let's try and get through this thing as soon as possible. Come on, Onbu, go faster. Oh man, how are we looking in here? It looks like our air toxicity is low at the moment, but the ground toxicity is medium. The thing we need to watch out for in these spore clouds is how they can spawn these spores. Oh yeah, here's some right here. We need to harvest these as soon as possible, or they're gonna grow into really bad things. And Onbu is through here, so I'm gonna tell him to start walking again. We really need to conserve his energy and his hunger. Okay, any more spores? Oh, there's so many. The trees make it really hard to see, actually. I think that's all of the ones that are in there. Oh man, there's 2 of them in there. I can barely see them because of the trees. Okay, they're getting through them slowly though. Even once you destroy these spores, they kind of leave this goop. It takes a little while for it to dry up. But there we go. That's that big patch pretty much sorted out. And it looks like we got the other 3 from over here as well. So we should be good now. Crisis averted, I think. Luckily, we didn't need that doctor after all. Oh, and Onbu's got a sleeping patch up here. That's going to be really useful too. By the time we get there, he's going to be super sleepy. I know it. Oh, our happiness has taken a beating though. We're not attracting extra nomads at the moment. I think it's because we had this bonus originally, which was giving us 6 extra points, and now it's just +2. So it seems to be dropping off. And it's going to drop by another 1 in 1 day and 12 hours. Oh, yes, the Onbu sleeping spot. Finally, a proper place for Onbu to sleep that's not in the middle of the road. Well, actually, it kind of is in the middle of the road. But this time, it's soft, fluffy trees, which is Onbu's favorite. And there we go. Fast asleep and super comfy. Our village doctor research is done, and that means we can finally build our scavenger hut. Well, research it, I guess. So look, I think that's a really good place for us to leave it. Man, new Wandering Village season. Let me know if you guys are enjoying it. I know I am. I always love this game. Love you. Mwah. Okay, bye.